leads alone is not going to cut it in today's market. So with that being said, when you're vetting marketing agency or advertising agencies, you have to be very, very careful on exactly what they offer, because nowadays marketing agencies are still stuck in the traditional way of advertising. They're only giving away their clients a name, email, phone number, and perhaps a CRM. And if I were to do that for my clients, I would be doing them a huge disservice. So in this video, I'm going to be going over exactly what to look for when you're venting a marketing agency. You're about to hire a marketing agency, because at the end of the day, you know that in order to grow your business, you need leads, right? You need some sort of paid ads. But because of today's market and the trust recession and the trust being so low and the competition is being so high, it's like, how do you even choose the right marketing team? How is it that you even choose or know who is good, who is not, and the resources that you get? And in this video, my goal is for you to have full understanding in order to win in business. Whether if you choose Canine Conversions, or you choose me, or you choose any other agency out there, I just want to make sure that you make the right decision, because at the end of the day, the right information will change your situation. My name is Jorge Mateo. I am founder of Canine Conversions, the go-to agency to scaling your dog training business. I am here to get you more leads, get you more clients, and make an impact in your dog training business. So when you're looking for a marketing team, there's a few things that you want to look for, okay? And again, my goal of this video is not to sell you that my agency is the best agency out there. My goal is not to tell you, hey, my agency is the only one to go to. My goal is to educate you to make the right decision for that, because nowadays I'm seeing that a lot of agencies out there are still stuck in that old traditional method of only providing you a name, email, and phone number. And then what happens? You hire them, you get their services, you're excited, you get the leads, but you're not converting anybody. You may be getting evals, but you're not necessarily closing every single people that come, or let alone like not getting the result that you want. And then you're just left frustrating, and then you're just left saying that leads do not work and that the agency sucks and the marketing sucks. And at the end of the day, it can be, it's not that it's none of those things. It's not that the leads sucks, not that the leads are not qualified. It's that the system is broken, or there is no system in place. So let's say, for example, if you've ever ran any ads in the past before, and you got the name, email, and phone number, perhaps a CRM, you probably experience, not a lot of lead flow, right? Meaning that the cost per lead is too high and you're just not receiving a lot of leads. That's one thing that you may, encountered. Another thing you may be experiencing is that you're getting the leads, but nobody's picking up. Another thing that you may be experiencing is that you may be getting the leads, and you may be having conversation with people, but they're not qualified. Or, you meet them for the evals, you're excited with them because you know they need their services, but they're not converting after the evals, right? And you're just left ghosted after you get, you send them the invoice. And I get it. A lot of trainers go through that. And nowadays, in today's market, you really have to think about it. It's like the competition is so high. People are getting scammed so much that the trust is really, really low. So what do you look for when you look at the marketing agency? So first things first is, you want to make sure that, you get provided with more than just a name, email, phone number, and even a CRM. You want to make sure that you have the right information when you're doing this, right? But before you even, do all that, you have to make sure to get into the right mindset that leads alone is not going to cut it anymore. If not, it doesn't matter who you go with or how many agencies you're going to go with. If you do not have the right mindset, you're just going to be stuck in this, hamster wheel of trying to find an agency that's going to get you these, super qualified people that every single person is going to come, And I'm going to give a perfect example, because I'm not going to, say any names or anything like that. But like, there's this, well-respected dog trainer, in the space, who's very, very well known, but is clueless when it comes to marketing, and especially when it paid ads. And when, since I knew that he was a top dog, I personally did the onboarding with him, and he told me that he's already been with like 4 or 5 different marketing agencies. And then I just saw him talk smack about another marketing agency, right? And it's just like, it's not that the leads suck. It's just that he's stuck in that old traditional way of getting clients. and that way is non-existent anymore. And what's going to happen, he's going to continue looking for that agency that's going to, where it's going to provide him people who's already closed. Like, no, like it doesn't work like that anymore. That's the reason why there's so many new trainers or so many new business owners who are just outperforming these trainers who've been in the game for a while, is because they understand the game of marketing. They understand the game of sales. They understand that in today's market, leads alone is not going to cut it, and you're going to need a little bit more. So with that being said, it's like you want to make sure that you're finding a marketing agency that is providing you not only with the leads, but with the whole entire system. And what is a system? What I mean by that is just, Canine Conversions operates off of 5 pillar client acquisition system, the exact same system that, we give all our clients, and the exact same system that my biggest, longest client who made $10 million last year operates off of these exact same systems, right? All our most successful trainers operate off of these exact same systems. The trainers that you hear all make all those little noises out there, I call them little chihuahuas, only use a fraction of the system, which is the leads, and that's it. And then they're just calling the leads once, and you can see proof right here somewhere in this video where you can see their CRM, how many leads they have in the new leads, or how many leads they have in the called ones, and then they blame the marketing, and they're just making so much noise, just like a little chihuahua. They're just making so much noise online. But how is it that other trainers who've been with us, for a very long time and understand the game, they apply all these systems and they're having incredible results? And at the end of the day, it's like, it's those people who I put my attention to. It's those trainers that I put my focus to, because they understand the game. Not only that, but they're open-minded about these changes. They're not stuck in the traditional way, So you just want to make sure that when you're vetting these marketing agencies, that they provide more than just the leads. Like here at Canine Conversions, it's like we know that having a social media presence is good. But we also understand that you're busy, you're doing so many different things. So we have training from a trainer who grew his Instagram page from 200 followers to over 100,000 followers in just 7 months. And he doesn't even log on to social media. He hates social media, but he found a way to grow that fast and that big with putting very little time. So we brought him as a special guest, and he broke down his entire system and exactly how he does it for all our clients, right? We understand that marketing is, when it comes to leads, and especially with this new Andromeda update when that Meta came out with, I'm not going to, go too much into detail in exactly what this is, but it's like the way that we advertise on Meta, Facebook, or Instagram is completely different than it was 2 years ago or even last year, right? Things are always updating. So it's like we host these, we have trainings and host these weekly marketing masterminds when it comes to creating video ads or your messaging, whatever it is. It's like we have those type of resources, right? We know that in order to get a complete stranger who's never heard from you to invest $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 in a boarding train package, takes a sales process. It's not one of those things that you can just place an ad saying, hey, buy my board and train, it costs $2,000. Like, you're not going to get any hits. Like, that's, you're not going to get any hits, right? So it's like you need a sales process to get them to the, a complete stranger, to getting them to like you and getting them to even trust you. So that's why we have trainings from a 6-figure a month dog trainer, right? This guy makes, 7 figures, makes over $1 million a year, based on how he does his evals, how it is that he sets the appointments, right? And we have that type of training as well. It's just like we have all these training based on every pillar of the acquisition system. So it's like when you're venting these companies, you want to make sure that they're giving you some sort of resources like that. How do you grow your Instagram? How do you close people? How do you handle the leads that come in? How is it that you do the delivery? How do you get people excited to work with you and having you be the only trainer in your area to train their dog versus all the other trainers? It's all systems. So it's like that's the biggest thing when vetting a marketing agency is you want to make sure that they give you the right information, and from information people who've already done that, right? That's number one. And number two, when you're vetting, it's like you want to make sure that you have the support. So what do I mean by that? I remember, I was interviewing one of our clients, and she told me that their previous marketing agency, the only way to contact them was via email. To me, that really didn't make any sense. It's like, how are you gonna, and they took, days to respond. It's like, how are you gonna, hire someone who's gonna take days to respond? Their only way of communication is through email, right? So it's like, you want to make sure that, they have, the right communication methods. So it's like SMS or Messenger or calling on the phone or email, whatever it is. It's like, if we don't hear from our client, like we send them a text message, we give them a call, we send them messages on Facebook Messenger, we send them emails. Like, if we don't hear from them, we even slide into their DMs on Instagram. So it's like, we're following up if we don't hear from our clients, because we get it, everyone's busy, but it's like, you want to make sure that there are some sort of a communication. And here at Canine Conversions, like, my like, every client that comes in here has their own dedicated supervisor, and that's their main point of contact, right? Not the only point of contact, because they also have access to the marketing director, they also have access to me during those live masterminds, but this is their main point of contact, and they can reach out to them in any way, shape, or form that they like, and they're there to help them with everything, right? They can get a little aggressive if we don't hear from our clients, because we want to make sure that they're being on top of their stuff, they're doing what they're supposed to do. And I rather be a company that people say, hey, the supervisors were annoying because they kept calling me every day, versus, hey, I did not hear from them for over a week or 2 weeks and they just ghosted me. Like, I'd rather be that company than the first option, right? So it's like, you just want to make sure that they have the right type of communication. And then lastly, when you're vetting these companies, it's like, no matter what company you use, there's always going to be noise. There's going to be the good, there's going to be the bad, there's going to be the ugly, there's going to be the great, right? And when you're at a point, or with I'm going to give myself a perfect example. We're at a point where, I understand and I know that we're in our current market that we're at right now. We have to do things differently than any other marketing agency. And what a lot of people like to do is, like, they like to make a lot of noise online when they don't get the type of results that they get. Yet when we look into the portal, we see that they haven't even logged in to access this information. They never attend the masterminds with all those featured players that we get. They never attend our weekly masterminds. It's like, they call their leads only once, right? And they call them like, days after they became a lead. By then, your competitors already beat them. So it's like, it's usually those trainers that make the most amount of noise, yet we have endless receipts of people who are just absolutely crushing it. And usually the people who are crushing it are the ones that understand the game of business, are the ones that understand that, hey, leads themselves is not going to cut it anymore. I need an entire system. And so it's like, how is it that we have trainers, coming to us and they're able to, increase their prices, and they're able to make more money, and yet they're working less, and they're at a point where, like, I want more people, like, let's just continue to scale up the ads, because they've been able to have systems in place to where they don't really need to be struggling every single time or working on the business 24/7. It's like, they've been able to apply these systems and grow their team and outsource other stuff. That way they're focusing on other things, more important things that is making them more money, or doing what they love doing, which is training dogs. So those are the biggest things that I would suggest for you to look at. Again, this video, the whole point of this video is not to sell you that my agency is the only one that would best works for you. I mean, I would love to work with you, but it's like, I just want you to have this mindset, or have this mindset shift, that because of today's market, it's like, things are changing. And one of the best skills that you can have as a business owner is have the skill of is able to adapt to these never-ending changes of the market. And the reason why I've been able to stay in the game of ads for almost a decade while so many other people had stopped is because meta's always changing, but I'm always adapting to the never-ending changes of Facebook, and same thing goes with business. If you have the ability to adapt to these never-ending changes of the market, you're going to win. And those trainers that are absolutely crushing it with us understand that we are currently in a market that the trust is so low and the competition is so high that you have to do things differently compared to how you used to do things a few years back. So those are just things that I would just look at when it comes to vetting a marketing agency. And hey, if you're at a point where you've already vetted a ton of marketing agencies and none of them offer anything that we offer, and you want more information about that, then right below this video, there's going to see a link that says claim your free transformation session. This is the time where you can sit one-on-one with one of our members from from my team, and then we can take a deep dive into exactly what you're looking for, exactly what are your needs, and see if we're a right fit to work together. Because at the end of the day, it's like I'm sick and tired of working with, people who are not willing to put in the work and only think, hey, I just need leads. Like, I don't need anything else. Like, those are the people who end up losing. Those are the people who end up quitting after a month or two. Those are the people that end up making the most noises online, the little chihuahuas. And those are the people I just don't want to work with. It's like, I want to work with serious, dedicated dog owners who understand that we are in the middle of a market shift. And in today's market, leads alone is not going to cut it. And you need an entire system, no matter what level you are in business, whether you're a big baller, then yes, you can outsource a lot of the stuff. Or if you're someone brand new and understand, hey, maybe for the first month or two, I need a hustle, make more money. And then later I can, start implementing, and outsourcing all these other stuff. That way they're focusing on money making activities. So if you like this video, please like, subscribe, share this with other trainers. It helps the algorithm, and I will see you on the next video. Ciao.